So Pro Football Focus more than likely thought there was a couple overdrafts there. Small school guy at 36, a guard at number 6, but man, they hit this one out of the park. What is up, everyone? It is Jake with Master Football, back at it again. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. How's everybody doing? Okay, before we get started, please like the channel. Please subscribe. Please share to your friends. I appreciate all that. Anyways, I'll do it real quick, and we will get into video right now. So I just got back from Memorial Day weekend. I actually recorded that video for the NFC South predictions last week. Got me a little bit of a tan going on. But I noticed something recently out there, and you want to know what it is? You want to know what I noticed? There is absolutely no football news right now. So there's absolutely no football news going right now, but that doesn't mean that there isn't articles still being produced. There's things that we can still talk about, and that's what I'm here for you to go ahead and get that stuff going. I actually saw an article today that I wanted to go ahead and talk about because I talked about before the concept of reaching and how it's kind of ridiculous. And again, to a certain degree, it is ridiculous because you don't know how good that player is going to be. So why are you predicting you could have gotten them later, but then you aren't sure if you would have gotten them later? So then, what if they did better than the player that you thought they were better than? And it's a complete crapshoot. But I do think it's important for us to go back, see what we've done before, see how we're doing now, and see if our opinions changed and why they changed. Let's get into it. So here on Pro Football Focus, we have regrading the 2018 NFL draft classes, the Ravens, Bills, and Bucks among the NFL's biggest winners. I wanted to talk to you about 3 things today. Okay, I want to talk about 3 notable drafts where they definitely got it right, and 3 notable drafts where they definitely got it wrong. Let's get into those really quickly. So first, we're going to go over the 3 ones that they definitely got right. That list includes the Packers, that list includes the Denver Broncos, and that list includes the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see here on the below average section that includes the Kansas City Chiefs. We're seeing on the good section, you'll see the Denver Broncos. And then at the top, you're going to see the Green Bay Packers. That was their predictions. Now, how they turned out was the Denver Broncos were one of their elite squads. The Green Bay Packers were one of their good squads, and then the Kansas City Chiefs are one of their below average squads. Let's check into those. So the Denver Broncos, they really like this one. Again, they have Bradley Chubb within here, a solid pass rusher, Courtland Sutton, really good big outside receiver, Isaac Yiadom. He's been playing a lot, but he's not exactly a dynamite player. Okay, we also see Josie Jewell. We see Deshaun Hamilton, Troy Fumagalli. There's a lot of production within there, especially Bradley Chubb and Courtland Sutton at the top. Those first and second round picks, they hit big on those. So this one's kind of cheating, but the Kansas City Chiefs did not do very well in this draft. You see Derek Nandi, you see Breeland Speaks, Dorian O'Daniel, Armani Watts, Traymon Smith, Khalil McKenzie. The only one that really speaks to me like it's doing well is Derek Nandi. He actually was playing pretty well, but I mean, the problem is it's easier to predict a bad draft than it is to predict a good draft. It's much easier. And last but not least, we have our dear friends, the Green Bay Packers, Jair Alexander, who has became one of the best cover corners in the NFL. A lot of people said there, he's a little small. We're not sure if he's going to work out. They also drafted Josh Jackson. He has not turned out the way that they wanted to. You see there in the 5th round, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Equanimous St. Brown. Lots of production there in the 5th and 6th round to punter J.K. Scott. You say Jamon Moore from Missouri. He hasn't really turned out where they wanted to, but they were able to come up with the 5th and 6th round. Did a great job with those drafts. They were predicted high because of the first 2 corners, but I think that those 5th and 6th round picks really elevated the rest of the draft. So finally, where they were incorrect, they graded the New York Jets draft on an elite level. They graded the Indianapolis Colts as kind of an average draft, and they had the Buffalo Bills as an average draft as well. Now, when we see them, those were wildly different than what they predicted. So the Buffalo Bills, the big reason why was because they're hinging off of that Josh Allen pick. So Josh Allen picked number 7. We saw several quarterbacks go before him, and we weren't sure how he's going to turn out. He ultimately has turned into one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL, and in addition to that, one of the better technicians at a quarterback. His passing numbers went from 3,000 to 4,500. His touchdowns went through the roof. He really, really excelled from that second year to his 3rd year. We see Trey May Edmonds, and they're already talking about an extension with him. Harrison Phillips is pretty solid. There's a lot of ability within here. Teron Johnson at corner. So you see there, especially those top picks, if you hit big on a quarterback early, I don't care what's going on, you have an elite draft on your hands. Another one too here was Quentin Nelson. So a lot of people say, oh yeah, man, guard. I don't know if you should ever draft a guard that high. Let me ask you a question. If you knew you were going to get a Hall of Famer at guard in the top 5 picks, I mean, if you knew you were going to get a Hall of Famer, why would you not pick them? It could be different if you don't have a quarterback. That may be the only one. But Quentin Nelson went in the first round. Darius Leonard in the second round. You see Braden Smith there. You see Nyheim Hines down there. You see Jordan Wilkins. A lot of those guys have actually been able to play for them a lot. So they did a great job with this. Those the first 2 picks, immense amount of values with those picks. So you'll see that, I mean, if you hit those picks, I think they might have probably thought, Pro Football Focus thought that Quentin Nelson was overdrafted, but ultimately, man, I mean, he might be one of the best offensive linemen of our generation. He's going to be the first offensive lineman that people are going to have to start branding things after. He is that big of a player. So Pro Football Focus more than likely thought there was a couple overdrafts there. Small school guy at 36, a guard at number 6, but man, they hit this one out of the park. And then last but not least, our dear friends, the New York Jets. So we want the Jets to be good, man. I don't know what it is about the Giants. They're so much more, humble than the Jets fans. I want you guys to be good too, man. But I mean, you see here, Sam Darnold didn't really support him. Nathan Shepard was a small school guy from Fort Hays State in the 3rd round. Chris Herndon never really turned out. Perry Nickerson's at least a name that I might have heard of based on Madden. Foloronzu, Fotukasi, and Trenton Cannon. There's not a lot of production out of there, and especially if Sam Darnold would have hit, this would have been a great draft, but highly, highly over-predicted the productivity of that draft. You have to remember, the Jets traded up to 3, not knowing who was going to be there available at quarterback. So when he ultimately fell to them, they were like, oh, this is crazy. They got immense value. They traded up. They got their franchise quarterback. Everything's good. Go Jets, Jets, Jets. It just never turned out like that. So there you go. I just want to take a quick check at that really quickly. It just seems like, especially with the people coming out with draft grades and this and that, I don't like to do draft grades. I know that people like to go over them. Oh, this person reached. This was a good pick. This was that pick. We really don't know. You have to check 3 years down the road. That right there was 3 years down the road. That was 2018. This is now 2021. A lot of those players, Sam Darnold, new team. Josh Allen is looking, people are talking MVP with Josh Allen. There's, Lamar Jackson already has an MVP. There's a lot of change that can happen in 3 years. So everybody who had a good draft, be humble. And everybody who had a bad draft, be patient. Ultimately, you're going to see what comes down the road. I will say you are going to see, as with the Kansas City Chiefs there, that if you don't have a lot of picks, it's hard to have you hit on a whole bunch of 2, 3s, 4s, and 5s and things like that. So everybody who had a lot of picks, just stay patient. That's the secret to getting better. It's not the secret to getting better is not signing people right now in free agency. Okay, those people are available for a reason. They are mercenaries for hire. You definitely want to build your team through the draft, even if you're not sure if your players were selected at the most efficient spot when they were picked. All right, everybody, video coming out on Friday. Thank you all so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Anybody have any questions, hit them up in the comments section. Be polite to each other. But anyways, I will see you guys on Friday with another video. I'm out.